and I actually just hit the
That's
record
good.
button because I forgot to do that. So off to another great start.
I 3 for 3, 3 for 3. We're
They
good
always
now.
said
We're good.
a third time was a charm, but in our case, it's maybe the
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. As soon as we went live, it just cut out and had to sign back in. But we're good.
That was
We're
weird.
good. We're running.
It happens. But we are
Odd.
here. We're going to talk about the Browns versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. What a 31-27 great win that one was with Joe Flacco at the helm.
Huge win. Huge, mungus win. And we'll probably talk about it, but as you can see, what happened afterwards with all the other teams below us losing helped big time. So,
Absolutely, the AFC is weird this year. It's
yeah, it's weird.
especially with
Very.
did you see Mahomes freaking out?
Yeah, that too. That was not a good look for him, man. Because for years they were protecting that guy, and I wonder if next week the refs are just going to be like, uh, "Let's make some more things happen to this baby."
Yeah. I'm hoping
Like, dude,
that doesn't.
you have years of just calls going your way. Browns versus them in the AFC divisional game, where they had that dude head hunt. Was it Higgins at the time? Had the head collision in the end zone, and they
Oh,
didn't call it.
but they called it the
Yeah,
next week at the Kansas
yeah,
City game.
exactly. So I mean,
Oh,
they get calls to them all the time. So big old baby, he's running back what he was saying earlier today. But people already are making fun of you for it. So
yeah.
you're a
The guy was
baby.
clearly offsides. I don't care what anybody
Yeah,
says.
like you have to give them a warning. It's like there's nothing in the rule books that you have to give them a warning. I mean,
Absolutely.
sometimes they do, but there's nothing in it. So,
Right. Um, Browns versus Jacksonville. Did you really think that we were going to pull that game off?
yeah, it's weird because I did, yes. I mean, I had my average nervousness toward the end there, like, but I was like, man, there's something different about this team this year that I had. Like in past years, I thought, oh, we're done. We had a 14-point lead. Now it's this close. Something's gonna happen. But and I felt confident, pretty confident when our boy Hopkins hit that field goal. I thought that would seal it. I was a little more worried about the defense. Like, I don't know, they seem to injuries obviously, but they seem to have been giving up some big plays there. But it worked out.
That 55 yarder by Dustin Hopkins put him
Insane.
tied with first place for a field goal kicker making 7 kicks in a row, 50 yards plus. He's tied for
Huge
first.
leg. And I think that was the biggest issue with obviously the biggest issue. And the biggest difference between last year and this year is obviously the kicking game because I think we were in as much close games as we were this year as last year, and the biggest difference was a kick, whether
Yeah,
it was an extra point or 3 points, and it shows you how important it is to be a kicker in the league.
it really does. He's I think scored us 130 something points this year.
Insane, insane. And people thought he was, I don't know, what is it, Tennessee before? Yeah, Tennessee. They thought he was done after that. And I know a lot of sports radio heads were talking how worried they were because they were worried about him not being able to kick at the lake. But he seems to, other than, I think he's missed 2 or 3 extra points. Other than that, he's been pretty solid.
I don't know how you miss a 50 or you make 55 yarders plus
Yeah,
and
you
then you miss
can.
an
It
extra
must
point.
be must be something in their head, like they probably think it's too easy and they get too comfortable. I don't know, but it is weird.
While
It
we
is
are
weird.
on the subject of a stat, um, Joe Flacco was the first quarterback to throw 3 touchdowns, 30 plus yards in one game since 1980. Brian Sipe.
Brian freaking sight.
What
That's
a
good.
stat!
That is insane. And if you look at his numbers, which was 311, 3 touchdowns, he had a 92 quarterback rating. It's been a while since we've seen that. It's been a long time since we've seen somebody throw that efficient. And it is crazy when you watch him throw or when he call a pass plays, you have the confidence that they're going to either He's either going to put the receiver in the position to catch the ball. Well, now whether the receiver catches the ball, that's up to the receiver. But um, it's just weird to have a quarterback where you're like, oh, okay, we got your quarterback that can actually hit receivers and mid route too, not just throwing behind, not just overthrowing, but like mid route. It's beautiful to see. It's what Cooper said, poetry.
Do you think that Joe Flacco is out there changing the whole team as one? Like, is he changing the feel of the locker room, the building the team morale like a professional quarterback should? I mean, is that you think that's huge for our
Uh,
team right now?
I do think it's huge, but I also want to give credit to Kevin because I think the culture, well, not just Kevin, but the front office also, because I think the culture was there. The issue is with any good team, in order to have a good culture, the coach and the quarterback have to be on the same page, preaching the same message. And I think Kevin found that quarterback. He even said that him and Flacco just meshed, just like peanut butter and jelly as soon as they met. And I think it has a
Oh,
lot to do with that. It has a lot to do with that veteran presence that he's done it before. He knows what it takes to win. And here's the thing, I didn't know this till today. Um, Kubiak, where Flacco came from was the Kubiak system, which also Kevin was a study under Kubiak. So there's some familiarity with the system with Flacco already. So a
oh
lot
yeah,
of people are onto Deshaun saying, why does Deshaun look this comfortable? Well, because he wasn't familiar with the Kubiak system as Flacco is. I mean, I'm sure there's some verbiage that's here and there that are different, but Flacco already was in the system that Kevin is presenting to him. So
right.
maybe also that is why there's comfortability there between Kevin and Flacco. But when he said that, I thought to myself, Super Bowl, man. It's Super Bowl. We're going all the way.
Super Bowl or bust,
Yeah,
Cleveland
Super
Browns,
Bowl.
baby.
No, it's I that's why I think it's and if you we're going to hear the game speech, but everyone that's talked that got the game ball said the same thing Kevin has been saying for the last 4 years. One game at a time. On to the next game. Yeah, we did. Congratulations. Great. But next game,
We
next
are
game,
one and
next
zero
game.
every
Yeah,
week,
1-0
hopefully.
every week. So when you have the same message being brought out and everyone is speaking Kevinisms, right? That shows you that the culture is changing. It's shifting. So that is encouraging to me as a fan to see that everyone's on the same page. There's no me guys in there. Everybody's like, in order to get this done, we got to do what we need to do to get it done.
You're this close. Don't screw it up now. Like
Yeah,
with all the adversity that not only the team, but Stefanski has dealt with, I think is probably the biggest thing that. You remember how you said you are a Kevin apologist?
hmm,
That's this guy now,
yeah, yeah.
dude.
I
I mean,
mean,
you've dealt with four quarterbacks in 1 year that you still win games with somehow, even though, like you said,
exactly.
again, we are couch coaches and we don't know what to do. We wouldn't know what to do. We watch
When
as fans and criticize
assume
this
we would
guy.
know what to do. Yeah, assume that this is what we do because it's hindsight, right? Everything's
Exactly.
hindsight. I
I just
wouldn't run that play. I would have thrown. Of course, you're not in the game. I mean, you're not in that moment, so you don't know. But here's the thing that too, since you brought up four different quarterbacks, there are 8 teams with 8+ wins in the league. We are the only team that has started four different quarterbacks with 8 wins.
that is cool.
That speaks on culture. That regardless of who is, that not only speaks about the culture, but that speaks about coaching
Oh yeah,
and why
absolutely.
I think Kevin is good. And a lot of people are totally, not a lot of people, some people discredit him because of some plays here and there. But if you win 8 games with four different quarterbacks, you're there's that message that's being said. It's being said to the same quarterback. That quarterback is saying the same thing every player. It's the same vision and it's going the same way, which is encouraging.
Before we get too much further, while we are on the Kevin subject, I'm gonna play a quick clip of the after the game locker room speech, and I think this is incredible. And then we'll get into some stats from the game. I'm gonna play this really quick if I could find it. Here it is. Enjoy. It's 2 minutes and 6 seconds that you'll not wanna not miss. You don't want to miss it. Here we go.
Hey, that was not a playoff game. But that sure as hell felt like a playoff game. And that's our season from here on out. That's our season. That's this journey that we talked about last night. That's what it is. Okay? What I saw was guys that were fighting off for each other. That's what I saw. Okay? Defensively, 4 takeaways. And the kid with 2 of them,
Blessings, 1-0, man. Good day, y'all boys, man. I'm proud how we played. Chicago next week. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was MJ Emerson, the first one to get the game ball, and we'll talk about that real quick. The 2 interceptions. That was amazing.
Great, amazing. Yeah, he seems to be finding the ball now, which is encouraging. So hopefully continue that trend because we are still -7 in the turnover margin, which is another added on to like how are we winning these games if we're -7 on the turnover margin? But that's a different statistic for a different day.
And here we go. This is next person got the game ball.
Hey, we need all 3 sides of the ball, right? The dude comes in, ice in his veins, 55 yards, no doubt about it. Let's go!
Hey, that's what good teams do right there. Stick together, fight adversity.
Hell yeah.
It's not always going to go our way, but who's going to fight the longest, the toughest? That's us.
That was Dustin Hopkins with the second game ball. Clearly, he saves the day for us. That 55-yarder.
I think he saved 6 games for us so far.
Yes.
5 or 6.
And then here comes Joe Flacco, and this one's kind of like an emotional moment, honestly. As a Browns fan, you listen to it and you're just like, wow, man, this couch potato guy that was playing catch with his brother in his backyard.
He was watching it on, he was watching it at his mom and dad's house. An NFL ticket is what he got. He was watching games at their house.
And frowned upon because of the Jets and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Yeah.
Here we go with Joe Flacco.
Okay, then offensively, it wasn't always perfect. We don't have to be perfect. We're looking for our best, but we don't have to be perfect. All right, but 3 for 3 on 4th down is pretty damn good. All right, that's the story of the game right there.
Coach is right, man. You know, it was not pretty today, and I was not my best, but these are what makes teams, these tough games. You know, you guys earn the right all year to play December football, and that's what we're doing right now, and that's what it looks like sometimes. And then January and February, this is what it's going to be, and to have the mental toughness to come through in those types of games, that's what winter's made of. So, you know, hey, bring these games on. It's just going to make us better in the long run. I appreciate you guys having me, man. I feel like a 10-year-old kid out there.
Amazing. He said he feels like a 10-year-old kid out there.
10-year kid. Yeah, that's good, man. Because he's probably thought to himself like, I'm never going to play again. No one's going to take a chance on me. Now he has an opportunity. He's actually balling out. It's great to see this story, and hopefully it continues to where it's down the path where it's actually get the respect that it needs to get in the media outside of Cleveland.
It's doing it.
It's doing it again.
You see that?
Yeah. He's fading away.
It never fails, man. Always once. Hold on. Let me get that fixed real quick. And we're back.
I don't know. There it is. Did you see that Hurst is out for the season also?
Yeah.
That sucks. Injuries just keep coming. We got hit with the big old.
The thing I love the most about it, honestly, Angel, is the fact that we're overcoming and still making the best out of every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the best. I mean, there's no doubting this team, even with its secondary or third team players. You know what I mean? They don't practice every week. They don't get the first reps, but they still come and ball like you wouldn't even notice that somebody's gone almost.
Culture, man. I know it's cliche. They always say next man up mentality, but it seems like the Browns are actually have that mindset where it's a next man up, which is
Sincerely, it is.
pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm going to talk some overall stats real quick. And again, this is kind of crazy. Numbers wise, we won the game, honestly. But time of possession, we won that again. 31.82 minutes. They had 28.18 minutes. We only had 16 first downs. It felt like a lot more, but they had 20. Our total yards were 389. They had 293. So defense, thank you for keeping them under 300 yards.
That
Passing.
helps a little bit.
307 yards passing at 235. I do want to say something about Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how bad that high ankle sprain really killed him, but he
looked like he healed up pretty quick.
Right.
I don't know what he did. They probably had like 24-hour care around that guy's ankle, man. Because that guy did not look like he was hurting.
Not at all. And you and I were talking about it last week when we said that, you know what, the best idea becoming these next 2 games are going to be tougher for them to leave him out and maybe take the L's because you're still ahead. They didn't. I would have kept them out, to be honest, because your next 2 games, or you got next week, I forget who they're playing next week, but their 2 games after that are going to be the toughest games of their season. I forget who it is, but anyways, we had sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if I hope they lose, because I don't know if I want to play them at home in their house, because that's going to be a tough rematch, because especially with the injuries we have in the secondary and in our line right now, that's going to be a tough one to run back.
Yeah, we've done it though.
Yeah.
Our 82 rushing yards are their 58. Again, with the penalties, I don't think they were as bad this week.
Mm-hmm.
We had 8, they had 7. Total plays is matched 74. We were averaging 5.3 yards per play, and they were averaging 4. We did win the turnover battle, thank God, because that was
Finally
vicious game to watch with the turnovers.
It was horrible. Yeah, a couple of key ones down at the goal line back to back. You got that Cooper fumble, and then the pick, which I think was a personal foul that happened there, but the refs must have missed it. But either way,
that fumble by Amari Cooper, I think it was his fault. Honestly, he was switching hands. We all seen that. And
Yeah.
I was always taught not to do that. Try to just keep the ball in your hands, tucked in to your chest as best as possible. And he switched hands, and as soon as he got hit, that was it.
He came out, yeah. He had 7 catches for 77 yards, though, which that's in a normal Coop.
So, while on the receiver subject, we could we'll definitely talk about their stats as well. But have you ever seen another quarterback use multiple receivers the way Flacco did Sunday?
David had 6 for 91, 2 touchdowns. Cooper 7 for 77. Moore 3 for 42. Bell had 3 for 41 and a touchdown. Those are the ones I wrote down real quick, and I think he had a couple more with 1 reception. Yeah, spreading the ball around, which makes this offense even more dangerous because you don't know who's going to get the ball. And I will put on record now that the person that's going to help benefit will be David Bell. I think he's going to get more gameplay here because he's Kevin's guy. I think Kevin picked him and wanted him in the draft when they got him. And I think Kevin's going to call more plays for him because he seemed to get some confidence going. But that's beside the point. Spreading the ball around is very crucial. And I think that's what Watson, DTR, and Walker was doing, was too focused on Cooper consistently, and teams were catching on to that. So their first read Cooper, but that was out there by that time. Other receivers were supposedly running open. Your eyes were too focused on Cooper, who wasn't open. And by the time you get to your second read, he's already covered. So I think having that veteran presence of Flacco, who just throws darts wherever he throws, is that's another benefit. Moving the ball around. Yes.
Very crucial for that. That was David Bell's first NFL touchdown.
Yes, and do you notice not a lot of people are questioning that play call on 4th and 3? You think that's odd?
Did you see it though? He like wound up in the middle of the field, wide
No one
open,
open.
because they thought they were going to run it.
Exactly.
We
But
were
no one's questioning why Kevin did not run on 4th and 3 today on this game. But weeks ago, they were questioning why he didn't run it on 4th and 3 instead of pass it.
Yep.
And the ball was tipped and it was intercepted. Mind you, if the ball was not tipped, it probably would have been caught. But that's besides the point. Again, we criticize gameplay calling based upon if they work or not. No one, it was the same play on 4th and 3. Same play as in Seattle. The difference is it worked. And it worked beautifully to where they thought they were going to run it. Probably because there were some signs that Kevin showed had during the game that made him think it was going to run. Either way, or maybe Flacco saw that they were going to come in to get the run and he switched the play. We don't know. Who knows? But either way, it worked. It worked out beautifully. And I'm glad because I love David Bell and I was hoping that he would be more exposed here in this offense, but he hasn't, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll get some more looks with Cooper's in and out of with the injury, hopefully.
We're working on it. Like you said last week that we've seen more Cedric Tillman and he's starting to pop out of the woodwork more, which is
Yeah.
amazing because
Yeah,
he's great. 2 for
I think he had
23.
23. Yes, I would say, yeah, 20-something yards. Yeah, I saw that.
But in the long run, at the end of the day, we were 3 for 3 on 4th down.
That's how you win games, man. That's how you're going to win close games in the playoffs. He's always been like that. Kevin's always been a risk taker, 4th down guy. It works when it works, and it sucks when it doesn't. But
Yeah.
you can't criticize if it doesn't work, and you can't criticize you can't praise it when it works and then criticize it when it doesn't work. You just have to say, "Oh, this is who he is. It's not going to change." And we reap the benefit.
We'll go a little bit defense. I'm sorry.
you're
JOK
good.
with 8 tackles.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
I
mean,
had that written down.
that's crucial, man. Martin Emerson Jr. 4 tackles and his 2 picks.
So with Delpit being signed, do you think the next one is JOK? You'd have to, right?
I would have. Yeah. I mean, they're like the dynamic duo. That's
Yeah.
another. You know what I mean? You don't mess with that. It
Yeah.
was like Chubb and Hunt.
I was worried that because I've heard a lot of rumblings and reading a lot that Delpit, this has been going on for a while, and I was like, man, I really hope they sign him before the season ends because he's going to get a massive deal somewhere else. And I'm glad they did because I thought someone was going to overpay for him for sure, and we would have lost out on him. But I'm glad they signed him.
He's the only LSU guy that seems to work out for us because Cade York definitely did not.
That was a horrible. Landry
Wasted.
and Landry was okay for what he was, for what he got, what we got out of him. His leadership alone helped. I think that helped change the culture a little bit in the beginning, and then Kevin came in and stamped his own culture. But,
And to Zadarius Smith has 1 sack. That was
Yeah.
huge. That was a huge sack.
that was a situational, pivotal change, culture change in the game for sure.
We needed that. The bummer is that Maurice Hurst is out for the rest of the year. He tore his MCL, I believe it was.
He was Peck.
Oh, was
muscle.
it Peck?
Yeah.
Man, I'm never
Season-ending
listening to
Peck.
the radio ever again.
That's what I read. Now, that's what I read real quick during my homework, so I could be wrong. So it might be something else, but I saw a pec injury, and he actually posted something on his Twitter.
But yeah, he's
about
definitely out for the rest
Or
of the
X.
year.
Sorry. Yes. So in your homework, did you see that, I'm going to mess up his name, Borquez?
Borquez,
Hunt?
yeah.
That was
72 yards.
That was like 90,000 yards. Yeah.
72.
When you play it, I'm like, that's not going to stop. Why is it going? That is still good. Can you imagine being that punt returner running back, thinking you're going to be at the 40 and you're running back 20 yards just to get the ball? It's insane.
No matter the circumstances, that punt returner pulled that. I don't know where he pulled that from, dude. To make the overhead catch, and then still try to
Yeah.
gain yardage off that.
Yeah,
I was hoping he was
that's
gonna fumble it. Oh,
well, but that would have been, dude. The stadium would have been crazy, insane. But
um,
yeah, that was crucial because he was. I mean, that was field position right there. I mean, that could have impacted some play calling on their side, but thank God he kicked it on that side for sure.
and so everybody knows, and we're all on the same page. That 72-yard punt went 72 yards. It didn't hit the ground and roll. It went 72 yards.
Actual right into the dude's hand.
Right. So
It's insane.
I think we're gonna use Pierre Strong as a kick returner the rest of the year. I mean,
I was wondering when they're going to pull on that because I thought he was the most as far as quickness with his feet. So I'm glad they decided that.
he's
No more.
versatile. He's
I'm surprised they don't use him more in the running game either. Because I feel like he has a quicker step.
I would
At
love
least
to
I
see
think.
that.
I was going to call him Hunt, but that's not his name. Shoot, his name just escaped me. The guy Ford. I think he's hurt. I think he has a hammy issue. I think that's why he's been slowed down.
Njoku catching the ball this week.
Dude, I think that's going to be a good 1-2 punch. Him and David Flacco. That's going to be Flacco's receiver for
Yeah.
sure. That dude seems to get open for some reason. Like all good tight ends seem to find open. He was wide open. Can we talk about the play call and the schemes that they write? He was wide open by like 30 yards.
Nobody.
No one's talking about that. No, they just say, do you understand how open he was and how open David Bell was? Like the schemes that they're writing up, the play calling, it's just Matt, just amazing.
David Bell's looked a little weird. Like he slanted off to the left and went up the middle, it looked like, right past every defender, and then just wound up wide open.
I think he was when he caught the ball, he's like, look, this is why I envision when I see the slow motion replay. Like he caught the ball and he like looked around like, somebody around me. I'm actually going to score. I'm actually going to score a touchdown. So I think he was so shocked that there was nobody around him because he was just like, he like looked around real quick and was just gone. It was cool to see how happy, like you can just tell, like see the smile on his face after he scored that touchdown. I'm like,
He needed
finally,
that.
dude gets in. Yeah, he finally gets in the end zone.
What else do I got here? That's Delpit had a big sack as well. That catch by Cooper on the sideline, I want to talk about that because I did not think that dude was in bounds at all. But when you watch the replay in slow motion, it was right there, 2 feet.
That's in. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how. I mean, most good receivers do that. That's just even average receivers that do that. I'm wondering, like, how can you have the hand-eye coordination to catch the ball and the thought process that I got to make sure both feet are in? It's just athletic, insane.
They were talking about it as well because they're saying Joe Flacco's release, before he even makes the cut, the ball is already out of Flacco's hands. So Flacco's putting enough 2.5 weeks on his team. He's putting a lot of faith into these receivers. And it's so funny because he knows the playbook so well already, it seems. I don't think we're making it easy on him because obviously you're throwing
a lot at him.
45 passes. I guess you can't count the last 3 because it was victory formation. I like that.
Victory formation.
You had a 98.51 QBR, man. That's incredible. And I don't know any other guy that can come into a team for 2.5 weeks and make something like that happen.
And he even did good in LA. LA had for his first game, really good game outside of of course, his interception. But I mean, he was throwing the ball in the money even at that point. So this is who he is. Like you can't sit there and be like, oh, he's lucky. He's been in the league for like 80 years. So it's not like he's a rookie. So you're saying, oh, once they get tape on him, he's going to have to adjust. Like, like you brought up the New York issue. Like maybe the reason why he wasn't as good in New York is what they see now is their offensive line just stinks. That's why exactly. That's why Zach Wilson's struggling. That's why Aaron Rodgers is hurt. That's why even the guy before they try to switch out with Zach Wilson sucks because that line. You give him a good line, give him some good time. Maybe. I mean, we saw him against us. Like he was throwing those deep balls, and the guys were wide butt open the whole time. And I don't want to talk about it, but ended up coming back and beating us. But
Did you see that pass to Njoku on a sideline where Flacco actually had to scramble out of the pocket because he felt presence and he ran off to the right and made a
Yeah.
huge play happen, dude.
yeah, and you didn't think of at least I didn't think of his pocket awareness, and not that he's running a 4.240, but he has enough where, like you said, spidey senses to realize where the guys are at, and somehow he's bit dodge and dip and throw. It's just amazing.
And again, he throws the ball away if he feels a huge presence in the pocket. Excuse me. He'll get rid of the ball. And it's not. And did you see that one where he tried to throw it to Ford? I believe it was a shot screen. He tried to throw it to Ford, and they were going to try to call intentional grounding, but he's like,
and
no,
he pointed
dude.
it out. No,
Yeah.
Ford's right there.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, no, I know I've been in the league for too long for this, sir. I know what I'm doing.
I was so waiting for that flag to come out, and I'm like, don't you dare. He was right there about 3 yards away from that ball. But he played it strategically. He threw the ball at the ground, right at the receiver's foot, which was on top of the screen. You know what I mean? They knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't call that.
They're probably looking to call it too because they wanted to screw us, but that's beside the point.
And it was so great though. You seen him just like
no, he's right there. He's right there.
That was amazing. I did write some fun stats down that we were 16 for 20 on first downs. That's the first time that's ever happened.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting.
That's my issue too.
Let's see. The averaging 5.3 yards per play. That's another thing I wanted to talk about with you is that's not just rushing. That's not rushing. If you could pop off 5.3 yards per play, every second down, it's a first down.
Yeah.
You don't need to launch the ball every time. You really don't. And I think so. All right, here. Have you seen a picture of Joe Flacco? Sorry, hold on. It's Joe Flacco and Stefanski smashed together, and it looks like the exact same person.
Yeah, I didn't realize that till somebody in one of the Browns groups on Facebook said it. I'm like, there's no way. And then I looked at it, I'm like, holy crap, he does look like him a little bit. That was before, like, I didn't see the face mashing, but he kind of does look like him.
So I got it. It's here on my phone, and
holy crap, that is so funny. They could be like brothers.
I meant to actually post or upload this so I could just show it, but
that is funny. That's funny. Yeah, they look alike. Maybe that's why they get along so well. There's some distant family that they don't know of. So you said the average play
5.3 yards.
5.3. Oh,
that's huge.
Yeah,
Think about that.
Average yard. Okay, so this went up. I had, for some reason, they must not have updated on the Browns website because they had 4.5. But 5.3 is, that's really good.
And think about it. Is Stefanski so comfortable with Joe Flacco that he is throwing the ball more? Because we all know it's a throwing league.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we've relied so much on a run with Nick Chubb. And now that we have somebody that can actually pass the ball, and that's somebody
the thing. Yeah.
Stefanski feels comfortable with, I think is crucial to this game. Honestly, it's nothing we expect.
If you have someone that throws the ball, why not have him throw the ball? It's not like it's DTR back there where you're like, why are you throwing 80 times? Like, this dude's been throwing the ball for over a decade. Let him throw that ball. And he's proven in 2 games that he's going to be efficient with it, you know?
Absolutely. I think that, like I said, I think this offensive line, again, I never thought I'd see Joe Flacco in a Browns uniform first and foremost.
It is weird. It's still kind of, when they had that dark brown on this past Sunday. It's kind of weird to see him in that locker room talking. I'm like, that is bizarre, man.
It was crazy, but we have a quarterback that I don't feel gut-wrenching feelings for when he runs out on the field.
Yeah, you're worried. I mean, he'll throw maybe a pick a game, but as you can see, quarterbacks nowadays, because they're throwing at a more higher rate, you're going to get at least one interception per game.
And that first one that he threw, I was wondering if it wasn't tipped at all. I know it wasn't tipped, but was that a blown route, do you think? Or was that, because he threw it right to him?
Unfortunately, I heard it on the radio because I got called into work for an emergency call, but I later was told that the corner should have been called for pass interference because he was holding during that route, and the refs just let it go, and he was able to step in front of the ball and obviously intercept it. But so I don't know if that was Flacco's fault entirely. Maybe maybe it was, but either way, he'll probably get one a game.
What else was I going to tell you? I ran out of fun stats. I thought you were the stats guy, Angel.
Well, like a lot of people talk about our offense and how they don't like Kevin and how he runs it, but our total offensive yardage is 4,243. The opponents is 3,419. So you're out gaining, and even if you look at the statistics every week, we're beating every team statistically from first downs, sometimes third down possession. The only thing that's killing us, I don't know how much has changed since Flacco has come in, is the red zone offense is bottom of the league still. And the defense's red zone is still in the bottom of the league, which you think it's weird because this defense is number one in the league. But it seems that they just can't stop them from scoring touchdowns once they get past that 20-yard line.
I did see
So
that. I think we're 25th.
Yeah. I mean, to be a number one defense statistically in the league outside of that is you have to learn to hold offenses to field goals and to really to help yourself in the playoffs, to even win these next couple of games. You really need to limit those opportunities when they get in that red zone to hold them to 3 points. I mean, but yeah, fourth downs, we're 12 for 23, which I didn't realize I guess Kevin goes for a lot on fourth down, which is crazy to me.
It's 55%, somewhere in there.
And that's the analytics, right? Depending on the situation, if it's 4th and 3, 4th and 2, go for it, and depending on the situation of the game and where you're in the field. I always like that mentality. That average pass play is 5.8. Average pass play and average run play they're averaging 5 yards per game for each one. So that's why, when people say why he's not running it, I mean, they're leading the league in attempts and handoff attempts anyways.
Oh, yeah.
And you're getting 5 yards on that, and then you're getting 5 yards on your pass play. Why does it matter? You're getting 5 yards on whatever play you call. Why? I don't know what is the obsession with Browns fans where they want to see a running back run the ball. We've had that for years. Why can't we have a quarterback like Mahomes who throws the ball 40 times and you're scoring 30, 40 points a game?
There are times where I like to see the ball ran, and it's not. And as us again as couch coaches, we do that. But this week it worked. We talked about it earlier. It really worked, and I don't even know what to say. The defense. All right, let's go back to defense. The defense was subpar this week. They were pretty good. It was just I didn't want to give up that many points. I don't think we should have given up that many points.
See, that's the argument that I'm having with people on Facebook when I post on these pages. They're saying the defense won the game. And I'm thinking to myself, your offense scored 31 points. Your defense allowed 27. Yeah, but they got 4 turnovers.
Never mind. Yeah, the turnover. They scored 2 touchdowns on the 3 turnovers. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I understand what you're saying.
And the
But
one
we
was in the
scored
red zone.
Yeah, we scored 31 points. Like the offense, it's not like the defense scored 6 points and took one to the house. I mean, the offense legitimately set up the 31 points. Now, yeah, you're right. Maybe
No,
14
you
of
are
those
right.
points should
Honestly,
be.
Angel, you're right because I forgot about the 2 turnovers that were beyond our 50-yard line, and they scored twice off of our turnovers. So
Yeah,
I can't say
and
that.
yeah, so they have two. They had 2 turnovers. We had 4. And how many did we score off of their turnovers? I think we scored twice. So to me, that's a wash. If you score twice off their turnovers and we score twice off their turnovers, that negates that.
Right.
And that's the way I view it. Like we both scored 14 points off 2 turnovers. So outside of that, it's tie game, right? 14-14. And then your offense scored 17 more points. Like get the offense. It's like people just hate our offense, and I don't understand it. It's like your offense is scoring 30 points a game. 30 points this game. I don't remember the last time we scored 30 points. With Flacco, I think we're going to do that a lot more, but
It's been a while.
it's been a while.
There was another stat that I heard earlier that was great, and I couldn't wait to tell you, but I was in my truck, so I didn't write it down. And it was something about scoring this many points in a game, and it hasn't happened in obviously quite a while. It seems like, but I'm gonna read this comment because my buddy Mike said he's totally a Madden player. Always go on 4th down.
Always. That's Kevin, man. He's mad, and he's like, oh, where we're at midfield. It's 4th and 2. Oh, why not? Let's just throw it up the middle.
But that's what I like about him. He is kind of ballsy at
Yeah.
points. Like he'll try to make something big happen, and when it backfires again, like you said, us Cleveland fans don't let it go. But we're here for a Victory Tuesday, and
Yes.
I'm damn proud of that team.
Unlike Therapy Tuesday, Victory Tuesday it feels a lot better than Therapy Tuesday.
And you know what? I wouldn't mind doing this on Tuesdays regularly because we get more out of it. Obviously, like we just learned about
More
injuries.
homework. Yeah.
Yeah, we learned about injuries today. We both have full-time jobs.
And Mondays are my wife being a therapist. Monday, like people have a rough weekend, so they hit her up for sessions.
Are they
the
Browns
weekend.
fans?
So, yeah, probably. So she's like, "Oh, I'm full Monday," and I'm like, "Ah." And my kids, every Monday, my kids are like, because the weekend they stay out, they do their thing, and Monday's like, "Hey, Daddy's got to go back to work, so let's adjust." It's just been hard. So yeah, I think Tuesday might be the best day.
We could do that. If it's
And
an
it's
early
cool because
game,
we can say every Tuesday, so it'd be consistent.
I'm okay with that. So it's recorded now. There's no backing down from Tuesdays.
Yeah, sorry guys.
We're
if you have something on Tuesdays, cancel so you can watch it.
And just so everybody know, I want everybody to share this. Just spread the love. We come on here to talk about Cleveland Browns and make.
As a Facebook creator, I'm telling you, comments and sharing and liking helps push the video in the algorithm for other people, not just the people that are fans of the page, other people to see, because Facebook would be like, oh, this page is popular and we want people to come to our site, so let's push this. So if you comment, more comments, the more likes, the more shares you do, it does help us out a lot. And actually you told me the other day, we're up to 200 followers last we saw?
Yes, 200 followers. Thanks to all of you, 200 followers, and it's going to climb. Just need to share and spread the wealth of the Bearded Browns podcast, and let's talk Browns every week. Does it get any better than that?
It does not, because we'll give you weird stats, we'll give you cool stats, and then we'll give you truth, and hopefully it'll be a lot more winning. But we'll learn together, and you can comment down below and tell us. Mike will tell me because I can't see any comments, but
they're right there.
Until I get my, I got my children some iPads for Christmas, so I'll be able to see that. once I hook them up with they're gonna love it. They've been asking for one for all year, so we've been like, oh, you guys ain't getting iPads. We're those hippie parents, so they're kind of afraid that they're not gonna get it. So
It's still early. You better hope they're not awake and heard that.
no, they're sleeping. Now I got one that's running a little fever right now. She passed out, and the other one's out. My oldest one, when she's out, she's not waking up. She's out. There's a fire. We have to shake her 50 times in order to wake her up.
I wish my life was like that. I got back pain now, and just does not happen like that for me anymore. So we have the Bears next.
Which I thought it would be a little easier, but they seem to be getting better as the season goes on. And I'm worried with that, with our injuries. And what is up with Denzel Ward? Is he ever going to play again? Next on the Bearded Browns podcast.
And this is kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? I always got to look at it. The Bearded Browns podcast.
Browns podcast. Yeah, Ward, I thought that he was practicing all last week. I thought for sure he was going to play, but then they called him off, which is weird to me. But we need him, man. We need him.
Is his a groin injury still? Or no?
I thought it was a neck.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was his neck.
It's always his head or neck, man.
Always.
That dude plays hard. He runs through walls, and being as small as I am, he can't be doing that, man.
Oh, you know what else I noticed is funny? Because in that speech where Stefanski and Flacco were talking, Stefanski was standing in front of Flacco, and dude, the height difference is so incredible. Like,
dude, I've always wanted a 6'9" quarterback that can throw. Like he's like 6'7", 6'8", maybe a little.
I think he's 6'6".
But is he 6'6"?
Same height as me.
6'6". Either that or I think Kevin's shorter than that. I thought Kevin was taller.
I think my wife knows. She thinks Kevin Stefanski's so hot.
Yeah, my wife's not the biggest football fan. She's actually annoyed by it, and she's even more annoyed by it because she can't pick on me because they normally lose every year.
Bro, hold on. I have seen your videos. Your wife makes fun of you for your Browns fandom.
I had to switch it up because it was funny before because they were losing. Now they're winning. Now it's just like we can't make fun of a team that's winning. It doesn't make sense. But she did they win? Yeah, they won. They're in the wild card. They're going to go to the playoffs. Oh, I got to watch football longer. Yeah, watch it. So yeah, she doesn't like it as much. She puts up with it. She just is in the kitchen or playing with the kids while it's going on, while I'm screaming or crying or jumping up and down.
So if anybody here doesn't know Angel is the guy that makes the reels where when his wife is in the bathroom, he goes and knocks on the door, interrupts her with a Browns fact.
I give you 90% of it's Kevin facts when she's on the toilet. I just have random Kevin facts pop up when she's on the. She's not really on it. She thought people aren't gonna actually think I'm on the toilet. I'm like, that's the least of my concern right now. I just want people to know the fact. Like if they think you're on the toilet, great. But hopefully they know you're not on there. But
I might throw some of those on here.
Sport. Yeah, she's a good sport. I got to get back to. I got to think of another avenue to talk because I can't talk down about my Browns when they're winning. I can take it when we're winning. What I should do is talk about how horrible Pittsburgh is. That's what I should do.
Man, that's like flushing a toilet.
Yeah, make Pittsburgh fans upset. And now they want to get rid of their coach too. By the way, Tomlin. Like Tomlin, it can grow quarterbacks there.
You and I talked about that last week. Send them to college.
Yeah.
See ya.
I read an article that they're looking to probably go after. I was gonna call him Justin Tucker. I don't know why I did that. The Chicago's quarterback that's coming in this week. I'll say guy.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yes. They're looking at. That's rumored they're going to pursue Justin Fields in a trade.
I don't think he's happy there, to be honest.
Yeah, he's not happy in Chicago. And I think they're going to be in a position where they can draft one. Which, I mean, I don't know. That team is
in shambles. But I heard that they were going to talk about getting Marvin Harrison Jr. If, honestly, you got to wait a year or till nobody knows if Marvin Harrison is going into the draft this year. He's talking about playing the Cotton Bowl. And so are the other alumni that this is their last year,
Besides,
or they got one more year
besides
left. Yeah.
yeah. But I also read that there were boosters offering Henderson, the running back is Henderson, right?
Yeah.
And um, Harrison, $20 million in NIL to stay.
I don't like this
Is
NIL
ins-
thing.
That is insane. They're offering both of them, so that's 40 million to stay one more year because they're thinking that they're going to get a better quarterback in the transfer portal.
I heard also that what did I hear now? Jeez. He
Manning kid might come.
Oh yeah, Arch Manning. I did hear
Yeah.
that. What else was there? Something about Marvin Harrison Jr. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, so I apologize for that, but we'll let that happen again until next time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
We're
think
getting
Ohio.
old.
Oh, yeah, Marvin Harrison does not want to leave Ohio State until he beats Michigan. He wants that on his resume.
Yeah. Well, that's good
I
for
think
us
that's
at least.
huge.
One more year. One more year at least.
With
With
another quarterback, I don't see a reason for it to not happen. Honestly,
that would suck for Chicago, who was hoping to get a quarterback and a receiver in the same draft, but oh well.
I just was not a fan of McCord.
Yeah, he's in the transfer portal, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And he also said that, it takes a lot of heart to play for Ohio State. I get that. And it does. I mean, we've been Ohio State fans our whole life, so we know you can't lose to Michigan 3 years in a row.
Mm-mm.
No matter.
Okay. And you see Ohio State are 3-point underdogs against Missouri because they don't know what's going to go on with the team, like who's playing. That's insane.
Morale's gone. There's no more morale in that locker room. It's done. I think.
Yeah. Hopefully Brian Day doesn't get screwed. I'm sorry, this is the Browns Bearded podcast, but go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Everybody, make sure you share this again. We're going to shout that out. Share this, even though we're talking about Ohio State right now, but it's the Cotton Bowl time of year. Normally it's the,
Yes.
championship, but.
So, yeah, to turn this back into the Browns, you see Jones is out. You texted me he's out for the season with knee injury, knee surgery. That sucks.
Yep.
Another offensive lineman down.
Yeah, he was the one with the MCL. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's done for the year. So now just think about what Kevin and the coaching staff has to put up with every week. Now they have to find another lineman to plug in a hole, to put him somewhere, and hopefully they gel enough to work within a week.
Yeah. Oh, they were talking about on the radio today, actually talking about possibly trading not Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin next year. They're saying because he's so injury prone that's an option that we have. And honestly, he hurt himself the first game and has been out the entire year. So what would you do in that situation? I mean, we need linemen. We definitely need them.
Yeah. Keen. Yeah. He's pretty banged up, and he seems to be like paper. And usually, as you get older, injuries just happen more often, especially if you're already injury prone. I mean, it's going to happen. That's why I'm worried about Deshaun too, because it seems like he's getting injured every year. Something's happening to the guy. But yeah, I would trade him. Maybe for a younger lineman. They seem to find linemen late in the draft well, anyways. So even if you trade them for a later round pick, like third, fourth, fifth, or whatever, you can get out of it, and then draft one you can develop because you have the best offensive lineman coach in the world, anyways. You could turn me into offensive lineman at some point. That's how good he is.
Dude, I don't know what my wife is cooking right now, but wow.
It smell good.
Oh, I have no idea what she's cooking, but I'm sorry, I was fixated on that for a second.
No, he's like,
did you see any of that? Did you hear about that Tennessee game?
That Tennessee game was insane. Insane.
So
you see Tyreek is hurt too?
Yeah. When we lost the Browns, the Tennessee Titans became my favorite team because I had to follow somebody, And it
Yeah.
was the Tennessee Titans, back in the Eddie George days, like
Buckeye.
Steve McNair. Like, yeah, I mean, that was it. And to see something like that happen, they broke a record. In under 3 minutes, they scored 17 points.
Insane. Insane. And Levis was the first rookie quarterback to throw for over 300 yards in a primetime game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what it shows you. The NFL, anything can happen any week. Anything.
Makes you wonder what they're
Anything
putting in
can
the
happen.
chicken.
Yeah. That is, I thought for sure, I went to bed and I was like, oh, that game is going to be Miami all day. And I woke up and I'm like, well, that helps the Browns a little bit.
Oh, dude, I was happy. My grandfather called me this morning too because he's like, oh, I know you're a Tennessee fan. Did you watch it? And I'm like, no, I was sleeping. I was tired. I'm glad we did not do the show yesterday. I was so tired. There's no way I would have canceled on you. So
Yeah, Mondays are, I probably feel as tired as you were every Monday with work and handling two wild girls. But yeah, it's weird that hey, Miami's a weird team, man. They're just, I don't know. They have all the, it seems like they have all that talent, but they just seem to, I don't know, can't win. I don't know, it's weird.
they won when
They look for,
I guess it counted, and I think their luck's going to run out. And if Baltimore loses these next 4 games on some whim, there's still a chance we can get home field advantage in the playoffs. We have to win out all 4
yeah.
games, and Baltimore would have to just
Would they,
not
if
be
they
Baltimore.
lose three or four, would that make us, because we're 2 games below them, right?
Yeah. So they
So
have
if
to
they lose
lose
three and we
3, and we
lose,
lose.
then
We
we
win 4. Yeah.
win out, yeah, then we can get it.
AFC North
They
champs.
should have won that freak. I texted you. I said Baltimore's gonna lose this game. Baltimore's gonna, and they had so many chances to lose it. I texted you early. I was like, I think Baltimore is gonna lose this game.
Yeah. It's a weird
And
year.
it is weird, man. Baltimore might be that team where they just sneak in because it's a weird year and win it. Because it's just a weird year.
The Jets beat the Eagles.
Insane. That's what I'm saying. Like every week it's something. Bears beat the Lions.
Yeah. That I was
Which,
not expecting that at
yeah,
all.
that's weird.
I'm not a Lions fan. I have a lot of friends that are Lions fans, and I honestly I appreciate the Lions this year because them guys are fighting hard. That's a team I don't want to play, but if we have to, we will.
Yeah, well, because they'll be in the Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird week. A lot of people that had a lot of picks probably lost a lot of, because they probably I know a lot of people lost money in that Miami game last week because last night because they thought easy money. They ended up being bad.
Imagine the people that bet on the Titans though.
Yeah, they're like, let's go retire somewhere. Probably go buy some food or beer somewhere.
Oh, I have to talk to you about something. I was talking to my grandfather today and telling him a little bit about you, and he wants to get together maybe for a burger and a beer one day with you and I and him.
Burgers and beer mix well together.
Yes. So he's probably actually watching this right now. I told him a little bit about you, and he's looking forward to it. I told him I'd talk to you, so we will talk about that. He's a big
Yeah.
Browns fan, a big Christian man as well.
Yeah,
And
he's burgers, beers, and bourbon are my favorite B's.
bacon.
Bacon. See, bacon too. See, I can go all day
Browns.
with beef, bacon. Brown. See,
There's a
we
lot
can
of
have
bees.
a show. We can have a show where we're eating bacon, drinking beer, drinking bourbon, and bacon and burgers on a Browns bearded podcast.
We could just call it the
Yeah, I'm down. Let me know. I'm off the week after Christmas, that week of after Christmas, so on vacation for
He
our
was thinking
final
of
year.
Saturday. I'm going to announce this. On the 22nd, I'm going to get a vasectomy, so that's going to be fun. There goes my Christmas.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
I've heard. I had three friends. Yeah, three friends that got it done, and they said it's an experience. They
Yeah.
said it's an experience.
I heard drink beer
Well, good
and
luck.
bags of peas.
Good luck, man. I will definitely be saying a little prayer for you.
Angel, this is me looking you right in the eyes right now in a serious face. This isn't even funny, man.
No.
The
Are you gonna do a
closer it gets.
podcast that day?
No, that's a
We'll be
Friday.
going live that day. Oh, it's a Friday. We'll be going live Friday on the 22nd. You'll be sitting there like, all
dude,
drugged up.
we could do it. Let's do it.
Nah, that might be
Little
might be
pregame.
something Facebook cancels. Yeah.
That's
No, that's a big decision. It's a scary one, a hurtful one, or a painful one, I should say. So good luck, man. I hope my wife never brings that up to me because it'll be hard to tell her no. It'll be hard to go through with it.
I'm just gonna have to suck it up and do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not starting over. All our kids are almost my kids are fully grown, and I have my step kids are 11 and 17. So I got a little time left. I'm not starting over. I'm not hitting the reset button.
That
And
would stink.
hopefully we don't have to do
Right
that with
when
the
you-
Browns.
Right when you start to cross the finish line, you're like, bad news.
Yeah.
Yes, the Browns. So they're the Bears. I think they're 3-point favorites right now, which a lot of people are scared of that line because they feel they should be more than 3. But I think the injuries have a lot to do with that. Our injuries, meaning the offensive line. And can you explain to the people why Flacco is going to the practice squad? Because people are like hyperventilating that they're going to lose. Do you know anything about that? Or
I
why?
think it's because we re-signed PJ Walker. Nobody picked him up on waivers at all. And that could be a good thing because I think every team is supposed to have 3 quarterbacks now. There's a rule because before you were only allowed to have 2 quarterbacks. Now we're allowed to have 3 quarterbacks, and I think they want to bring PJ Walker back because he knows the system, and they're thinking that somehow it's gonna miraculously work in our favor. Yes, the guys won us 2 games. You got to give him that. I mean, they were tough games.
Yeah, no, there is familiarity. You don't want to just pick up somebody random that's going to have to learn the system. At least in case, obviously, you can see how the season is going, where people are dropping like flies. So I get the move. People are like, someone's going to pick Flacco up and he's going to leave the Browns. Why are they putting him in the practice squad? It's like I do think they're allowed 4 players in the practice squad 3 times. And they can't get claimed. They're allowed to be protected from by the team. So a lot of people are like, I've seen that a lot, like in the Browns chat when the groups are like, "What? The Browns are stupid. They're going to lose Flacco." And I was like, I don't have the strength to type out this. I don't have the strength to explain to you why they do this. But
you are right. If they put him in, because you're only allowed to transfer so many times a year, and pretty much if you do that locks that player in. I think we already got him locked in because we signed him for a year for $380,000. If I got to come in and play 5 games for you guys for $380,000, a little more than $250,000, I'm in. Count me. I'll go throw a ball for $380,000.
Once you get in the playoffs, you make that playoff money on top of that. So I mean, so it's a little more than that too, if you think about it. But
I'm just going to say, theoretically, what would you do in this situation? We got a big, giant playoff run. Say, for example, we make it to the Super Bowl. Just make it, not even win it, with Joe Flacco.
You have to sign him as a backup.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Sign him as a backup. You put DTR in your practice squad.
Yep.
Right?
No. You keep DTR, and you put PJ Walker on a practice squad.
Yeah, my wrong quarterback. You sign Flacco as a backup. I would even go to say this: you should sign Flacco as a backup, even if you win 1 playoff game.
I agree.
Just sign him. And now I know that's going to cause a problem, and I know what they're thinking. That's going to cause a problem with the fans. They're going to want Flacco over Watson. Whenever Watson has a bad game, fans are going to be chanting for Flacco. But you have to understand this dude, Watson, has seemed to be injured a lot. So you made one mistake. Not that Dobbs is comparable to Flacco, anyways, but I think you would have won more games with Dobbs as opposed to with Walker and DTR.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think signing Flacco as a backup, and I think obviously he loves it here. The team loves him.
I guess he bought a
No.
house in Parma.
Yeah, by you?
No, I'm in LaGrange.
Oh yeah, you're in LaGrange. Sorry, my really, he bought a house in Parma. I have to go. My mother-in-law lives over there. I have to go stalk him.
I
But
bought my first house in Parma.
yeah,
I'll never go back.
yeah. Wow. Is that like internet rumor? Or is that true that he actually bought
That's
a
an
house?
internet rumor that I seen,
Oh,
and
okay.
you can't believe anything that you
It's
see on
kind of
Facebook
it's kind of
unless you're
like
watching this show. You can believe everything we say
yeah,
here.
everything you want to say, everything. Like what was the biggest rumors back in the day? Someone bought a house in Strongsville. Like every time they wanted to sign a player, bought a
Oh
house
yeah,
somewhere in
I seen him in
Strongsville.
Strong. I made a comment on
Yeah,
one of those. I was like, I just seen him at Strongsville Circle K kicking it at buying donuts. Like, get out of here.
he's at the mall in the Coles, so at Strongsville Mall in Coles. No, yeah, I definitely would sign him as a backup. I think he would service us well, just in case Watson. My biggest worry with Watson, if I could be candid too, is like his mental toughness right now. Like mentally, is he okay to play?
My biggest
Because
thing. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, because he's obviously dealt with a lot with his personal issues, obviously. And now this injury issue, like, is he going to be like psychologically ready to play or confident enough to be able to play like he was in Houston?
Again, not only is it his throwing arm that's going to be messed with, but you got to knock the rust off. You can't just. Yeah, you got camp before that preseason to get back into it. Are we going to play him in preseason? Are you going
They
to try
always
to?
say if you go by the last couple of years, they don't. They play what they do the last two games. They play a little bit. Well, now it's only three games. So the second game and the third game, they play him a little bit, and then they just throw him in there
Right.
full go in the season. So, I mean, if you go by history, then no, they're not going to play him, unfortunately, in which they should, because again, people are going to be like, you got to knock the rust off. You got to knock the rust off. It's like, how much longer? And you can see there was a trend. The Tennessee game was good. He got hurt. Then he started getting better in the Baltimore game, got hurt. So maybe there is some truth to him knocking out the rust because every time he seemed to knock off the rust, the problem is more rust came on him, so he had to be put out again. But no, I would sign Flacco for sure.
I definitely would, hands down. Not. I know it's only 2 games in, but for a guy to come in the way he did and just turn the whole locker room around, it seemed. Whether you're a second stringer or a third stringer, next man up. That's the biggest thing in this locker room this year, I believe, is next man up. And they were talking about it on the radio earlier, is next man up, and everybody that is the next man up shows up.
Yeah, because
So
I mean that speaks of coaching, how they well prepared to, like past coaches, their culture we would sign of a major injury, they're done. Like they start faltering. They go from 3-1 to end up being 3-13, and they suck the rest of the year. But it seems like this culture we have in Berea really has that mentality. Like you got to prepare yourself. If you're not going to prepare yourself, we're not going to invest in you. And like you said, you can see it when the next man's up, he's ready to play. Besides Mike Ford, other than that, everyone else is ready to play. Mike
yeah,
Ford always gets
man.
exposed. He gets
I-
exposed. You can tell he's a special teamer for real. And I don't mean to dump on him, but every
Right.
time he is on the field, they like, oh, there's Mike Ford. Let's throw it that way. Mike Ford, look for him, and then you got it.
So if you could pick 3 players right now to be your MVP list, defense or offense, who would you go
3.
with?
You have to go Flacco for one. I would do Emerson because he's been the most consistent. I would, and it's going to be weird, but I would put Hopkins because he's been the most consistent and he's won you the most games. And as far as consistency, I would put Cooper there too. That would be my three.
My third
I
would
would go
be
offense, defense, and special teams.
my third would be Martin Emerson because he's showing up. I think he's got a mindset to make these big plays, and it's incredible to watch him. Honestly, not a lot of people watch the defense, you know what I mean, as a whole. And to watch one guy stick out more than others, not only because of the 2 interceptions that he had this week were incredible, but the guy makes plays happen. There's tackles, big tackles. So I would say Martin Emerson's my third.
For sure. Yeah.
Dustin Hopkins, my second for sure. That guy has saved us, like you said, saved us many games. The clutch man. He's come in clutch so many times. If I were to see Cade York walk up to the line again and try to kick a 55-yarder, I'd probably
throw a can of beer at him.
Yeah, I'd walk outside. I have zero trust. Like it was weird because the year before that he was actually like on point.
Decent. Yeah.
He seemed pretty good, but then dude, you just blow it in preseason and 3 games into the season, and then we bring in Dustin Hopkins, which was possibly one of the most underrated kickers apparently because I don't know if it's Phil Dawson's flag that he's got out there. Because remember how Phil Dawson had that flag set up?
Yeah, Phil Dawson talked about that flag. Yeah.
Yes. So he had that flag set up out there, and I don't know if that's what's helping Dustin Hopkins, but that's it. So be it. And my first player, I'm going to have to go with Myles Garrett, man.
I forgot about Myles. Yeah, you're right. Myles Garrett would have to be the MVP. Yes.
He's just, you know what? I know he's
held He's getting held every play too, and doesn't get called. So yes. Forgot. I actually forgot we had Myles on this team. I feel stupid for that. But yes,
Jesus.
Myles. How did I forget about Myles?
I don't say that word much, but Jesus. No.
Yeah, Myles is number one. Emerson and then Hopkins. Okay, yeah, that's my new order.
Myles obviously has been somewhat injured, and he made a big statement the other day after the game and said,
I saw that.
"Yeah, you guys are holding, and they're holding and not calling it at all."
And there's pictures of being exposed online of that new lineman that came in because the other guy got hurt, and he literally, you see him running past, and his hand is holding Myles' jersey, like
pads and all.
This obvious,
right?
And he's like being held, and the quarterback's right there. He's like, "No, it's just ridiculous."
They said Myles is probably going to get fined for that as well. But you know what? If it takes you speaking out to talk about it, then do it.
And that's different whining as opposed to Patrick Mahomes, because your guy was offsides. So
clear
you're
as
sitting
day.
there saying you shouldn't call that. You shouldn't call that. Myles is being held. Like, you need to call that. There's 2 different whinings about it, 2 different complaints.
And they say that T.J. Watt, they don't call it on him as much, but I think because he's a dirty player. I don't want to say dirty. He's good. He's obviously leading the league in sacks.
No, he's good. No, he's good. He's good for sure. Yeah, he's just.
But he could be dirty. I've seen him do some shady stuff, but like pouncing on one of our linemen when we played him, got him to the ground and then jumped on top of him. For what reason did you do that?
Yeah, not to discredit. Like, he's great. He's probably one of the greats in the NFL right now, but he is dirty though. He does some dirty stuff.
He is an elite player. But if a helmet comes off and Myles picks it up, everybody run.
Yeah, run. But back to Emerson, and I think we undervalue him, like we undervalue Ward at one point. Now we kind of realize how valuable Ward is. The only thing you do have an argument is you wish the kid could stay healthy. Is we saw Newsome on corner, and Newsome got tore up, right? Against LA, I think it was LA, or the first game Ward got hurt. Emerson allows you to, when Ward is hurt, to still have half the field locked down. Not too many teams have that. Not too many teams have two corners, and that's why this defense is so good, and why Schwartz probably even picked to come here. He like was excited, jumped at the opportunities because he knew that he had two corners that will lock him down, and he will be able to just rush anybody he wanted to because the corners could hold their own. Emerson gives you that opportunity to do that when not a lot of teams have two people that can do that. And then when you have an injury that happens to one of them, you still have half the field locked down because your second one is just killing it. As
Yeah.
you can see, he had two interceptions last week. And shout out to Newsom, who actually made a good pick on that too, on that third ball. But yeah, I think Emerson. I don't know if he'll make the Pro Bowl because I think there's a lot of corners in the AFC. I don't know how they
I
do
think it's
that in the
possible, to be
Northwest,
honest. I think that's a huge possibility. I mean,
because I think once you're in, you're always get voted in. That's why I think like Ward will still get voted in, even though he's gone like for 6 games a year. He still gets in because he's like
every year.
notable every like he seems to get 4 to 6 games. He seems to be hurt a year, and he seems to get in. So I think Emerson should get in. I hope he does. I
But
was
when
kind of
Ward is
like
here,
going,
dude, you know his presence. That's
yeah. That's why I want him to come back because I think we're going to need him here in the for this home stretch because your defensive line is cutting down because all these injuries. Delpit might be gone for a couple games, so you're going to need all the help you can get.
I'm just happy that defense showed up during that Jaguars game. There was plenty of tip passes or block passes that I seen that were crucial because, again, um, they they just looked good. Obviously, I did forget earlier about the 2 picks that we threw and let them pretty much in the red zone. So I take that back and I apologize on behalf of my ignorance. But if defense could show up these next 4 games and Flacco could do what he's been doing, throwing for 300 plus yards,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason we shouldn't win all 4 of these games.
All the defense really has to do is do what they're currently doing and limit the touchdowns in the red zone. If you can do half of what you're doing currently, if you allow 3 points as opposed to 7 points half the time, you'll be okay. This year is once they're in there, teams are just scoring at an alarming rate. It's just like for what this defense can do, like how can you be so tough from the 20 and back, but once you get in that 20-yard line, it's like I don't know, something gets miscommunicated, shorter field. I don't know.
Right.
It's just their weakness.
I did remember the stat. Maybe not. Man, I gotta stop talking apparently
No,
because
no,
I
it's
just
that
forgot
food your
about it
wife is
again.
making. It's that food you're smelling. Your wife is distracting your
I think
mind.
that's really it. To be honest, I'm not kidding. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it smells like. It just smells great. The stat was, the first drive of the game.
Oh, yes,
We have
that came
not.
back.
Yeah, the first drive of the game. We have not scored the first drive of the game. In 2 games since like 2004,
Really?
2003. There's not been 2 consecutive games
Oh,
where we have
2
scored on the
consecutive
first
games.
drive since like 2004. I graduated in 2004.
Interesting. I find that weird because I feel like Kevin is really good at the first 15. The first drive he's really good at. I feel like that's where bulk of his points come from. Is the first drive.
I agree. I'm
Maybe
gonna have to look up the stat. I may be wrong on the year, but I don't think we scored on the
because
first drive.
I thought that Baker year in 2020 is where they really excelled at that and Kevin was known, and that was the biggest thing with Kevin. People would say, "Well, he's good in the first drive, and he'll disappear for a quarter." But yeah, that came. If they can Can you imagine being up 7-0 every game in your first drive? That puts so much pressure on the opposite team to always score points. It's
You have
insane.
momentum. That's a huge momentum
Yeah.
builder for the entire game. The
Yeah, I could.
the momentum shifts so hard when you, especially not only at home does it help, but if you're away and you score on the first drive, that's like shoving it in your face and saying, "We got this. We're not afraid of you. Let's do this."
And then it makes the team question, like, should we give them the ball first? We should go. We should get our ball. We should get the ball first because we have to
Yes.
try to score before they do.
This
So it
stupid
kind of,
camera. Oh, are you kidding me?
it's like I'm fading again.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gone. Hey,
No,
so
no,
it's
I'm here.
no, there is, there is. So he's gone. Now he's back.
I introduced you in the beginning of the show without you even being here. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
his angel's here. It's like, where's he at? He just
I'm like,
dropped off the stream.
like, where did he go? That was
Yeah, I think the issue is if I connect it to my Wi-Fi while doing this, there's a lot of lagging, so I have to just stay off my Wi-Fi.
you're fine. We'll
So
figure it out. We are still a new
lesson
show,
learned.
and we're making things happen. We're talking to you for an hour and 22 minutes without a break, even.
Yes, and no one's going potty. That's how committed we are to this show. We don't have to go potty. We just
Well,
go potty in
it's
our pants.
Tuesday. And nobody's drinking. It's Tuesday. Nobody's
We're
drinking.
so no, we're so committed. We'll go potty in our pants.
Mhm.
No, but I do. I can't believe I forgot about Miles being on the team. I feel stupid about that. Sorry, guys. We do actually have other ideas that we're going to implement in the show that are going to be really cool to switch things up as far as like like stats and this, stats that, and I'm sure we're going to come up with other funny, cool ideas where we can mix things up, switch things up, and maybe not always talk football or Browns, but maybe throw Ohio State or a Cavs thing in. Talk Cleveland in general sports, maybe to attract other people, but
I'm
it's
gonna
just
actually.
Browns
I
right
have an
now.
idea for you, and you and I have obviously talked about this. I had an intro set up for you about doing your stats, and it was just Angel stats with Angel, because you always you're the stats guy clearly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it for
Yes.
everybody. I'm gonna just play the intro because I think it's still awesome, and I wanted to show it, but we gotta figure out some things to get it to work. But I'm gonna play it real quick, and here it is. And once we get that working correctly, we will have stats with Angel. But for now,
See, it's never a dull moment. See what you
right.
guys are missing? If you're
But
not here live, you're missing this live.
but like we said, we both work full-time jobs, and we are trying to get as much Browns information as we can gather. And if you guys miss it, like sometimes we do as well, we're trying to get it to you, whether it be right after the game or before the game or a Tuesday like today. Um,
Tuesday.
I think Tuesday's honestly great, Angel, because we could get more on injury reports, um, just everything. We can gather more information because, again, we do work full-time jobs.
Yeah, especially the playoff seating, it changes. We can't say it on Sunday night because, it changes with the other games on Monday night and stuff like that. Maybe we can even throw a segment in called, the typical around the league where we talk about other teams and scores and how it impacts seating and stuff like that.
That is a good idea, especially since we got Saturday games coming up.
Yeah. So that's maybe we'll tune into like a Saturday night beer and Browns or something.
Bourbon and Browns.
We'll do bourbon and Browns where we're just can talk about Browns and because there's a Saturday game coming up. No, that's Christmas Eve
I don't
Eve
think
game. That's a
we have a
Sunday.
Saturday. No, we do have a Saturday game, don't we? No, we have a Thursday night against the Jets.
That's a
And
Thursday. Jets. Okay.
that's an 8:15
Hopefully,
game.
Aaron.
It's
That's
gonna be
all
rough
right,
to
then.
stay awake for that. I love my
Yeah.
Browns, but man, it's a Thursday, and it's
Yeah, those Thursday games, man. And the problem with me is if I watch 1 minute of the game, I'm done. I'm committed. I'm in. So I have to go to bed like at 7 o'clock where I'm knocked out. I'm just knocked out because if I get up and I look at my phone and I see us winning, us losing. I'm like, how are we losing? And so I go downstairs and I'm up to 12 o'clock and
You gain
I have to get
this
up
just
3.
weird burst of energy out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like my wife comes out. Why are you doing up? I'm like, the Browns are up by 20. I need to see this.
Gotta be to work in 2 hours.
I gotta be working 3 hours, but I'll be fine. I'll just drink some coffee or whatever.
I'm gonna play this one more
But-
time just because I thoroughly enjoy hearing Flacco say this, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Before I do this, everybody just share the page, please. It
Comment,
does,
like, share.
yes, it helps. I'm gonna play this Flacco after the victory speech one more time just because I love hearing it. It gives me goosebumps, dude. It's amazing. Angel, I wish you could hear it, but man, I'm gonna play it one more time and then we're gonna say our goodbyes. So here it is.
The coach is right, man. It was not pretty today, and I was not my best, but these are what makes teams. These tough games. You guys earn the right all year to play December football, and that's what we're doing right now, and that's what it looks like sometimes. And then January and February, this is what it's going to be, and to have the mental toughness to come through in those types of games, that's what winter's made of. So, hey, bring these games on. It's just going to make us better in the long run. And I appreciate you guys having me, man. I feel like a 10-year-old kid out there.
It's almost like in that speech he promises January and February football.
Yes, and he knows January and February football, so thank God they got him, man. Thank the
Did
football
we start the
gods.
podcast for the Bearded Browns podcast at the perfect time where we're
We
going
did.
to possibly win a Super Bowl?
It could be the year that we allowed them to do so with this great podcast. And you're welcome, fans, if that happens. We
Yes.
deserve a ring too.
To all 200 of our followers, we will get you guys rings. They're going to be the
Yeah.
Cracker Jack box ones, but you'll get a ring, I promise.
Well, my daughter has fake rings. She has like 200 of them. We'll give them out. She'll ask later where they're at. I say, they're gone.
Boom. It's the thought that counts.
Hmm.
Well,
Cool.
Bearded Browns fans and Browns fans, all of you, we love you guys, and we will see you guys sometime soon.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, as of now, yes. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the shares. Keep spreading the wealth. This video will be on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow. I don't know if I have the energy to do all that tonight, but
Not with that food your wife is cooking. You don't
dude, I
wanna
still
miss
don't know
that
what it
out.
is. Stop it. I still have no idea what it is, but I'm going to go eat that. So Bearded Browns fans, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Bye.